Hello everyone! So today I'm going to be telling you guys how to use CRAAP to evaluate your sources. And yes, it is CRAAP with two A's, so keep that in mind. So CRAAP is an acronym and it stands for Currency, Relevance, Authority, Accuracy, and Purpose. And we can use each of these categories to help us determine whether a resource that we're looking at will be beneficial for us to use in our assignment. As an example, I'm going to be looking at this NPR article from September 10th, and it's called Regenerative Agriculture is Sold as a Climate Solution. Can it do all it says? And I'll include a link. You don't have to read it if you don't want to. I just chose it as an example. So the C in CRAAP stands for currency, and currency is when the information was produced or when it was released. As a little bit of backup information, if you're in a science-based program or in a science-based class, or you're focusing on current events, you might prefer to have more recent information, whereas if you're talking about literature or in a history class, you can also benefit from older sources. This is because in the sciences, things tend to change pretty rapidly as new discoveries are made. Whereas literature and history, it doesn't change as fast, so you can kind of get away with using some older stuff. To determine the currency of our article, we can ask ourselves some of the following questions, like when was the information published? Has it been revised or updated? And does your topic require recent information? Typically, you can see when an information was published towards the top of a resource. So like for here, we see September 10th, 2024. Usually, if you want to see if something has been revised or updated, that might be towards the bottom of the article. The R in CRAAP stands for relevance, and relevance refers to how well the information meets your needs. To kind of screen the relevance of our article, we can kind of ask ourselves, does the information relate to the topic of your interest? You can ask yourself, who is the intended audience? Or you can ask yourself, does it answer questions about your topic? So obviously, if we were choosing this article, we would probably want to be talking about regenerative agriculture or just agriculture in general, or maybe we might want to talk about climate change solutions. These are kind of topics that might work with this article. And also knowing who the publisher is can give us a hint at the intended audience. Since it is NPR, these are typically made for general audiences, whereas maybe a professional journal might be geared towards people that are working in that field. The first A in CRAAP stands for authority, and that just refers to the person, people, or the organization that produced the information. So when we're looking at the authority, we want to ask ourselves, who is the author and who's the publisher? Is the author qualified to write on the topic? Is there any contact information for that author? And what does the URL reveal? So is that a .com, .edu, .gov, .org, or .net? As for author and publisher, you can find those pretty easily. The author will be down here. It's by Julia Simon. And the publisher we know is NPR. You can usually find these at the beginning of an article. Is the author qualified to write on the topic? You might need to research. NPR does this cool thing where they link to an author's profile, so you can kind of see maybe other articles that they've written or some of their educational background, that kind of thing. As for URL, .edu is for educational organizations, so like colleges. .gov stands for government organization. So like nm.gov would be something published by the New Mexico government. .com, .org, and .net can be purchased by anyone to use in the URL, but that doesn't mean necessarily that they are a bad resource. It means we might need to be a little bit more careful about it. The A in CRAAP stands for accuracy, and that's just the reliability, truthfulness, and correctness of the information presented. So this is kind of a crazy slide. You're not going to have to read all of it, so don't worry. So when we're looking at the accuracy of an article, we need to kind of determine if our claims are supported by evidence. Has the information been reviewed? Can you verify any information in a different source? And does the language seem unbiased? So, are there claims to support evidence? That's just using citations. So we see in this paragraph right here that all of this information is taken from this professor from New York University. So whatever this paragraph is saying, it came from a pretty reliable source, right? A professor from New York University. You can tell if information has been reviewed if it's in a peer-reviewed article, and we'll go over that a little bit more when we're looking at database searching or catalog searching to see if something is peer-reviewed or not. It's a big process that takes place when you're being published in the academic realm. Okay, so the final letter in CRAAP stands for purpose, and purpose is just the reason that the source was created or what the author or authors were hoping to achieve by creating it. So when we're looking at the purpose of an article, we can ask ourselves, is it meant to inform us of something, teach us of something, sell us something, entertain us, or to persuade us to do something? Do the author or authors make their intentions clear? Is the information presented fact, opinion, or propaganda? And is the point of view objective? So the purpose of the article is kind of hard to determine without reading it, especially when you're trying to figure out what the authors wanted to do. But I believe that after reading this article, that this author wanted to kind of inform us of regenerative agriculture and maybe some like changes that are happening or how it can help regular agriculture, that kind of thing. That's all I have for you today for using the CRAAP test to look at your sources in a more critical lens. So please, again, don't hesitate to ask any questions if you have them. And my email is always open for you guys. So thank you so much. Goodbye.